Happy New Year, guys! How are you doing? Hope you had a great celebration. Before I start with today's video, I want to wish you all a great next year and a great decade of 2020s. I myself had a great year. 3 of my videos got 130,000 plus views. The Ryan Hollins is currently sitting at 630,000 views, and the channel itself really grew in the second half of the year. Big thank you to everyone who contributed to that, and hopefully this year we can get to 50,000 subscribers. That sounds a lot, but I'm sure we can get there. Okay, back to the video. Each of us have our own wishes or goals for the next year. The same goes for NBA teams and their fan bases. So today, I decided to do something fun. Hello, this is Purple Prince, and today I'll tell you what each NBA team should want for 2020. Let's start with the Atlanta Hawks. What they would need in 2020 is a better shooting from their young players. Currently, the Hawks are the worst team in the league. Before the season, I had them as my dark horse playoff contenders. Oh, how wrong I was on that one. There's a couple of reasons for their bad play. Their horrid defense, John Collins' suspension, some injuries here and there, but one glaring issue is the efficiency of their rookies. Their 2 highest draft choices, DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish, both are shooting less than 40% from the field, and Cam Reddish has been especially atrocious with his percentages of 30.1% from the field and 26.1% from the 3. The Atlanta Hawks are not going anywhere this year, but it would be great for their rookies to start converting more and get some more confidence in 2020. Boston Celtics, better bench production. It's hard to find a lot of weaknesses for a team that's second in the Eastern Conference, but in the Celtics case, it's their bench. Boston is 27th in bench scoring. They're scoring 111.5 points per game, but only 28 of those come from the bench. Enes Kanter chimes in with almost 9 points per game, Brad Wanamaker scores like 7, but other than that, it's pretty bad. This should improve with Romeo Langford getting healthier and better, and who knows, maybe even we'll get some tackle fall. But for now, all Boston should want for 2020 is better production from the bench. Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant. Did you expect me to say Kyrie? Well, I didn't. Kevin Durant won't return this season, but he should be back in 2020. That's all they should want. Kyrie alone can't really get Brooklyn far in the playoffs, and he hasn't been healthy either. This year has been very disappointing for the Nets. A lot of things aren't clicking. That should change right around the time when Durangelo is ready to play. Charlotte Hornets, a place to dump bad contracts. I've been pleasantly surprised with Charlotte this season. Although they're 13 and 23, Devontae Graham looks like a diamond in the rough. Terry Rozier is no Kemba, but he's averaging 17.1 points per game, and actually for the first time in his career is hitting better than 40% from the field. He's at 41%. But let's look at their biggest contracts. Nicholas Batum, $25.5 million, next year a player option for $27 million, which he would be dumb to decline. Terry Rozier's contract isn't a cherry on the cake, but I'll skip that for now. Bismack Biyombo, last year $17 million. Marvin Williams, last year $15 million. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, this year $13 million. If Charlotte manages to get rid of these last year contracts in return for at least a second round pick, it's a win. If they can get off of Nicholas Batum's contract, that's some magic. And that's what they should want for 2020. Chicago Bulls, a better marksman. Otto Porter hasn't been there a lot, some young players have been disappointing, but definitely a lot more was expected from Lauri Markkanen. He's gotten better lately, but so far as a whole, the 2019-20 season has been disappointing. He's averaging the least amount of points in his career, he's shooting the worst he's ever shot from the field, every statistic you can imagine is down, his lack of growth is a big reason for Bulls' mediocrity. That and their head coach. Cleveland Cavaliers, a busy trade deadline. Cleveland already gave away Jordan Clarkson. They should still give away Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, and maybe even one of their young guards, either Sexton or Garland. Life without LeBron is tough. I don't think he's coming back to Cleveland again, so they have to cut the bait with veterans on big contracts and try to start fresh. Dallas Mavericks, a real dynamic duo by the end of the season. Back when the Mavericks traded for Porzingis, their thought process was that they would have a great superstar duo that would lead them towards the championship. So far, Luka Doncic has been amazing, but Kristaps Porzingis not so much. He's averaging 17 and 9, which is cool, but more is expected. Porzingis was very good without Luka for a few games, but together as a duo on the court, Porzingis just can't seem to find his identity. Mavericks will be in the playoffs, but they need a dynamic duo to really contend. Denver Nuggets, a real superstar. I might get some hate for this, but this has been Denver's problem for years since Carmelo left. They've never had that one go-to guy, that one superstar who'll get it done. Who will take the last shot? There's an occasional Jamal Murray moment, Nikola Jokic moment, but who is the real guy there? Jokic hasn't been consistent enough, and there's no name that jumps out of the board that you can point at and say, that's the guy who'll get it done. Jokic is not a superstar in that sense just yet. Detroit Pistons, clean the house. Okay, so Blake Griffin is not healthy. Again, he's 30 years old, he won't carry this team. Derrick Rose is 31, he's good for moments here and there, but also can't carry. Andre Drummond, great rebounder, blocks some shots, but that's about it. This team has no face, no scheme, no identity. It's a bunch of big contracts, ex-superstars thrown together in a hope that it will work. Well, it doesn't. Just clean the house. Golden State Warriors, get the Splash Bros back. D'Angelo Russell is cool, but he's no Klay Thompson. Steph Curry is out, Draymond was out for a bit. There's nothing going right for the Warriors this season. All they need to get back though is their original Splash Brothers. Maybe when the original trio is back together and healthy, they can work some magic again. Houston Rockets, bench or any other scoring besides Harden and Westbrook. Remember when I said that the Celtics have no bench? Well, if the Celtics bench is non-existent, then the Rockets bench is non-existent somewhere in another galaxy. The Rockets bench is the last in the league. 25 points per game, ladies and gentlemen. The return of Eric Gordon should help this cause, but they will need so much more. Indiana Pacers, Victor Oladipo. It's been a while since we saw Oladipo on the NBA court. Almost a year to be exact, and the Pacers without him are doing pretty good. Which just makes you wonder if they really could contend with Oladipo. He's still recovering and might not even play in January. Indiana Pacers will be in the playoffs, but to see if they can achieve some more, all they should want for 2020 is a healthy Victor Oladipo. Los Angeles Clippers. They should hope that load management works. Clippers bench is the best in the league. They have the best starting lineup defensively, when they're healthy. They have everything you would want in a team, if they're healthy. That's why they're doing some real load management on Kawhi, who might need it, but they're losing some important games which could drop them to a lower seed and a possibly tougher playoff opponents. Kawhi was limping through last year's playoffs. Good thing other teams were limping as well. Clippers shouldn't count on that this year. Los Angeles Lakers, hope that 35 don't hit too hard. LeBron just turned 35 years old. He's been excellent this season but has had some problems with his health. He's crucial for Lakers' success. AD is very important as well, but the offense goes through LeBron. Passing, driving the lanes, he's super important, in a way more important than AD. And with LeBron turning 35 years old, there are legit questions about his durability and father time. So Lakers fans, let's hope that 35 don't hit too hard. Memphis Grizzlies, a great 2020 draft. It seems like Memphis have got something with Ja Morant, plus they have some other nice young players. As of now, the oldest player on the Grizzlies is Jay Crowder, who's 29. Now that's a definition of a young team. The playoffs is a lucid dream, but what they can and should hope for is another nice draft. Another one or two solid young players added to this young core could make some noise next year. Miami Heat, a better starting center. Miami Heat currently is in the best situation it has been since the Big 3 days in early 2010s. 7 players on the Heat roster are averaging more than 12 points per game. 2 more are averaging 8 or more. They have a closer in Jimmy Butler who's been so good with the Heat and no toxicity around him. That's excellent, but their starting center is averaging 5.8 points and 4.7 rebounds. I understand that he's okay for what they need, but if you really have to improve something, I'd want a better center, a one who can block some shots. Bam Adebayo is kinda doing that, and they've been splitting time at center with Myers Leonard, but I think Leonard should be exclusively a bench player. There should be some options on the market. Milwaukee Bucks? Hope the Greek Freak stays. Should there be any other choice here? Yes, they would need some bench help, yes they need Middleton to be better, but all of that has no point if Giannis leaves Milwaukee after next season. He will be eligible to sign a Supermax extension after this season, and Milwaukee's only hope should be that he does just that. Minnesota Timberwolves. Win some home games. The Timberwolves started the season hot, but now they're as cold as you can get, and it's weird too. Sure, Cat has missed some games, but Wiggins is playing the best ball of his career. Cat is as well. Their defense isn't great, but their bench is okay, their scoring is okay. What's alarming is their home games. They won just 4 out of 15 games at home, and there have been some bad losses against Memphis, Washington, New Orleans, Golden State, Cleveland. Just be a bit better at home. New Orleans Pelicans, a sight of the real Zion Williamson. So that Lakers trade has partly worked, and Pelicans have been fun to watch, but it's no fun that it's 2020 and we still haven't seen Zion on the court. He first was expected to be back around December, then Christmas, and now it's January 2020 and we still haven't gotten news on when he could be back. He's struggling with weight, and all we have heard is that he's learning to walk differently and run differently. That doesn't sound very promising, but hopefully in 2020 we see a sight of the real Zion Williamson. New York Knicks, a new owner. It's such a long shot, but I had to put it in here. James Dolan just hires the wrong people, makes the wrong deals. He pays them, but that's about it. This team has no trajectory whatsoever. They supposedly would want to go for Giannis, but will he really be that brave to go to New York after the way it has looked this century? I wouldn't be so sure. You have everything working for you there. Big market, passionate fans, it's just the owner that's kinda lame. Oklahoma City Thunder. Keep Chris Paul. For now. Emotionally, I would like to see Andre Robertson back. It's a shame what has happened to one of the best defenders in the NBA. But as for real stuff, I think Thunder fans should hope they don't trade Chris Paul. And I really mean that. I was one of the first to call for Chris Paul trade after he went to OKC. I just didn't see anything materializing there, but actually they've been very good. They're over 500, they're in the playoff zone, and I think Chris Paul has been a great reason for that. He's not a superstar anymore, but at 34 he still has good years left in him, and why not have some hero playoff runs with a young squad? Orlando Magic. Move on from Aaron Gordon. 2 years ago, Aaron Gordon was right on the cusp of becoming an all-star. He averaged 18 points and 8 rebounds, was improving his shooting, and he was right there on the verge of becoming great. For the last 2 seasons though, he stagnated and even become worse. This year, he's averaging 13 points and 7 rebounds. Right now he's having Achilles problems, and it just seems that it's time to kick the tires on him. He's just 24 years old and is somewhat on a friendly contract for 2 more years for $34.5 million, and that's exactly why they should move on while he still has value, and his contract could be appealing for other teams to give him a shot. Philadelphia 76ers, a shooting Ben Simmons. Remember all those videos of Ben Simmons shooting 3-pointers in practice? All the rumblings of how much has he improved his shot? Well, maybe he has, but he damn sure ain't attempting it. He did make his first 3-pointer, and for the season he's made 2 out of 5, but only 5 3-point attempts in 34 games? That's Shaq-like, and Ben Simmons ain't dominant in any way like Shaq was. You have to have Ben Simmons that can shoot. This one has flaws, and the teams are using it against the 76ers. Phoenix Suns, consistency. Phoenix started the season 5-2, and since then they've managed to win only 8 of 26 games. They were top 10 defense in the first part of the season, and now they're 25th. Devin Booker has scored 22 or more points in 17 games, and the Phoenix is 12-5 in those games. Booker also has 13 games with 21 points or less, and Phoenix has won only one of those games, against Memphis. Effort hasn't been there every night, Rubio's shooting has been suspicious as it's always been, DeAndre Ayton was suspended, what looked like something great on the horizon has turned into something similar we're accustomed to seeing from the Suns. All they need is consistency. Portland Trail Blazers, the end of the two-guard experiment. After a hard start, Portland Trail Blazers are climbing their way back into the playoff zone. Well, the current 4-game losing streak doesn't help, but what the Trail Blazers fans should really hope for is the end of the two-guard experiment. Portland tried to have two all-star caliber guards and they can't get the team to win the chip. And they won't. By eating up all the cap space in your guard spots, you are just so vulnerable against teams that can actually guard your backcourt. They need to figure out a different way to compete. Split the pair of Lillard and McCollum. If they miss the playoffs, they might finally do it. Sacramento Kings, get rid of Vlade Divac. Sacramento is in the midst of an 8-game losing streak. There are a lot of problems here. Injuries are a big part of it. Players they signed haven't contributed, Luke Walton might not be that great of a coach after all, and there is one man who is responsible for most of these things. That's Vlade Divac, the general manager of Sacramento Kings. Since becoming the GM in 2015, he's drafted 5 players in the top 10 and only 2 are still on the team. He's letting his good players walk away for free, he's had 3 head coaches, oh, and he had a chance to pick Luka Doncic, but he didn't because he supposedly didn't like Luka's father. Oh, that's great reasoning to pass up on a superstar. He probably ain't going nowhere cause he just got an extension, but we can dream, can't we? San Antonio Spurs, some distance shooting. Boy did the Spurs mess up when they traded away Davis Bertans. They traded away one of their few reliable 3-point shooters. The Spurs are dead last in the NBA when it comes to making 3-point shots, along with Golden State, and they are dead last, like dead in the cemetery, in 3-point attempts. At some point you have to have some threats from the deep. DeRozan, you were once an all-star. Where did you go, buddy? It's just so far a Hall of Fame coach can carry you with one-dimensional offense. Toronto Raptors, hope Pascal Siakam gets healthy and stays that way. With the championship win last year and losing Kawhi, there's been a big turnaround in Toronto, and rightfully so. We didn't expect them to be as good as they are right now. They're good, but they've lost their star Pascal Siakam indefinitely with a groin injury. Since then, they've been struggling. They're comfortably in the playoff zone, but for something more, they need their star back healthy and as quick as possible. Utah Jazz, Mike Conley becomes great again. One of the more underrated acquisitions before the season, in my opinion, was Mike Conley going to Utah Jazz. For years, Conley has been that borderline all-star, great leader, defender, scorer. He's that great part of your team you just want to have. So the Jazz got him, and as it looks now, didn't really get an upgrade over Rubio. Conley has been horrible. He's shooting horrible, he's averaging the least amount of assists in 11 years, things just haven't clicked yet. So we hope we can get Grizzly Conley back. Washington Wizards, put an incentive to defend on every player's contract. I mean, are you kidding me? They allow 121 points per game, the worst in the league. Opponents make 43.7 field goals against them in a game. That's the worst in the league. They allow 49.2% shooting. That's the worst in the league. And they allow 38.1% 3-pointers, the third worst in the league. They've allowed more than 130 points in 6 games, and once Houston scored 159 in a non-overtime game. How about just putting clause into your players' contracts that they have to defend, because this is just ridiculous. Okay, this was a bit long, but I hope you liked it. What do you think about every NBA team, and what should they want in 2020? Please leave a comment below. Happy New Year once again, guys, and let's start the year right by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and enable bell notifications to get notified when I put something out. 2020 will be awesome. This is Purple Prince, and I'm out.